Okay, I was just kidding. I'm not coming with my real good stuff. I'm just coming back with another little low-life example. And it's less of a low-life example, a little more interesting. What would happen if you were to try this with a U sub and you made that your U? So I started off our dictionary here. If you want that to be your U, your differential here, du would have to be 5 times all that stuff to the 4th times the derivative of that stuff. So it would have to be 19 plus 2 cosine of x times the derivative of 19 plus 2 cosine of x. That's how you take derivatives. And then your differential, I could clean it up a little bit. 19 plus 2 cosine of x to the 4th. Alright, let's do the differential here. The differential of 19 is gone. The 2 can be pulled out. The cosine would be a negative, a sine of x, and a dx. I think I'm missing a negative here. Negative. There's your little dictionary. The question is, will that work? Maybe, maybe not. Let's try it. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, this guy's silly. He could have just tried a different U sub. That would have made it much easier. Yeah, I could have, but that's not the point. The point is not to find the easier one. The point is to stir up creativity, which is the mother of invention, which is what's going to save our planet. You need to be creative. So I'm just asking a different idea. Will that work or not? I know other U substitutions will work. I'm not interested in just getting the answer. I'm interested in generating lots of ideas, because that's where the most amazing things will happen, is when people generate ideas. Alright, I'm not going to go on that. I could go on that for hours, but let's skip that for now. Alright, let's figure it. So let's stay with the game plan here. We got to make our substitution. So I'm going to make a little line here to box my dictionary. Dictionary is there. Alright, let's translate here. So this becomes what is it, man? It's a mess. Alright, how about I take baby steps? The U is on the bottom. That becomes sine of x. The U is on the bottom. U dx. How about that, huh? All I did is replace the dx. Sine x, sine x. All I did is replace the U, which was all that thing right there. Not bad, huh? Well, it's a step, but I still have more x's. You're not really done making a U substitution until you've done a U substitution, meaning that you've substituted all the x's out of it. Right? So I see here a dx. Maybe I can redo the dictionary over here and try to figure out what is my dx worth. Yeah? Oh man, I don't know how to erase on this one. Sorry, it's been a long time, and I got some new software here. Alright, let's try this. I'll do it here on the bottom. So I have it that every du, if I divide by, can you see that alright? If I divide by negative 5, 19 plus 2 cosine of x, all that to the 4th. Oh yeah, and also if I divide by 2, oh yeah, and also if I divide by sine of x, I get a dx. I got that from the previous line. I isolated for dx. This whole thing I divided on the bottom, and that's the exchange rate for every dx. Every dx can be exchanged for that much. So I'm going to go over here and plug in my dx. That way at least I'll have less x's. I'll still have to deal with this, but I'm not afraid. Okay? So let's do it. I'm going to add this to our little dictionary here. This is part of our dictionary. So let's continue over here. So this becomes sine of x all over u. The dx, that was, we agreed, was du over that big old thing. That would be negative 5 19 plus 2 cosine of x to the 4th times 2 times sine of x. Right? Assuming I copied it correctly. So then that's kind of nice. You could cancel that. Maybe add some color to that. What? No. Don't make me upset here. There. See what I paid me? And then cancel this and maybe add some color so that means that we cancel both of those, and now we got a mess. But not to worry. I think it cleans up nicely. I've got a du on the top, I've got a u on the bottom, I've got a 5 and a 2, so that I'm going to pull that out as negative 10 if you don't mind. I still got this thing to the fourth, so I got 19 plus 2 cosine of x to the 4th. Now what am I going to do with that? It's start crying is exactly what you're going to do. Go cry to your mommy. No, you're going to fight. Finish the substitution. Go back to the dictionary and say, hey, what is this worth from my dictionary? Well, five of these would have gotten me a U. How many would the four of them get me? Well, it would be, you could play this game here. You could multiply this side. You could raise it maybe to the 4/5. Maybe you could do this one. It's not always possible, but if the numbers are positive, it would be okay, which is kind of a different story. You'd have to study some deep stuff like the implicit function theorem. We're going to let that slide. Alright, raise both sides to the 4/5. That means that four of these, this guy right here, I'll write it so it's clear. U to the 4/5 is equal to 19 plus 2 cosine of x to the 4th. That's my dictionary. So I can go over here and say, hey, this guy's equal to 1/-10 integral of du all over u times u to the 4/5. OMG, now what are we going to do? So I have a u and a u to the 4/5. The way we did this back in grade school, just add the exponents, right? Well, nothing's changed since then. So we got u, I got 5/5 here, which is a 1, which is 5/5, and 4/5. I reckon that's 9/5. So that becomes 1/-10 integral of u to the -9/5 du, and then that's a piece of cake. That's a basic integral. 1/-10 u, I add 1 to the power, that becomes -4/5, and I divide by the new power, -4/5 plus a constant, and I clean that up. It's customary to answer the question with the same kind of variables that it was asked, so we can clean that up. I think I can swing that over to the top. That becomes 5/10 times 4, because the negatives cancel, and then that becomes u to the 4/5 on the bottom, plus a constant. But we agree that u to the whoa, you can't see. I should say something. Can you see? U to the 4/5, that was up here. U to the 4/5 is equal to that guy. Oh, right here. So that's what I'm going to plug into here, and then I'll have the answer. So I'll write it right here. So the answer would be 5/10 times 4 times 19 plus 2 cosine of x to the 4th plus a constant. That's it. That's a so example. There's my applause. Alright. I was just kidding. This one's I'm gonna come back with my good stuff next example, alright? Let's take it up a notch or 2 or 3. Alright, we'll see you guys in a bit.